Hello friends, welcome to this video, and today we are going to discuss about JPA Criteria API. The JPA Criteria API came in Hibernate 5.2 version. Okay, so the old Hibernate Criteria API is now deprecated and new development is focused on the JPA Criteria API. So what this JPA Criteria API offers you? It offers you a type-safe and a programmatic way to create typed queries. Okay, and it also helps you to avoid syntax error. So, what are type-safe and a programmatic way of creating queries? Type-safe means when you are getting a result from the query, it already knows the type. Okay, and programmatic way means you are not going to write any query in double quote. Okay, it is fully object oriented. Okay, so when we use this API with JPA static meta model generator, it makes compile time checks whether we use the correct field names, types or not. So what is this JPA static meta model generator? How we will configure it and how we are going to use it with a new JPA criteria API. We will look all these things in our coming slides. Okay, why we should use JPA criteria API? So let's first understand the drawback with JPQL and HQL. Okay, so I have taken some line of code here. The above line of code compiled fine, but it will not run successfully at runtime because in the above line of code the alias p is missing in the query, but the query is written in double quotes, so it will not give you any error at compile time, but at runtime this query will not execute anymore. Okay, and there is one more drawback here. You can see in the last line of code the result of the query is not type safe. Okay, so you have to perform typecasting and there might be a chance of occurring class cast exception at runtime. So avoiding these issues at runtime, the JPA criteria API came in picture. Okay, so here I have taken some line of code written using JPA criteria API. So let's understand it line by line. So in first line, what we are doing, we are getting the criteria builder object from session, and this criteria builder object act as a factory for criteria query instance, and it is also used for creating predicates. So in line 2, we are constructing the criteria query instance using criteria builder object. Okay, so the type of the criteria query indicates the expected type in the query result. This can be an entity, an integer, or any other object. Okay, so in line 3, from method create and add a query root corresponding to the given entity and return a root instance. And in line 4, we are creating a boolean expression which we will use in our where condition of the query. Also, you may be wonder that what this post underscore dot id is. So it is what the JPA static meta model generator provides us. So for the time being, you can consider it the way to access the attributes of the entity. Okay. So now let's focus on the line 5. So in line 5, the select method takes one argument of the type selection interface. Okay, and sets it as a select clause content. Okay, so let me tell you first something about criteria query interface. So the criteria query interface contains many more methods. For example, from, where, select. So actually this interface contains those methods which are needed to build the query. Okay, you have seen from, where, select. We need these methods for building a query. Okay, so let's focus on the where method. Where method is overloaded. There are two methods. The first one takes our expression type argument, and the second one takes a var, which is a predicate type. Okay. So now let's move on the line 6. Line 6 is simply creating a typed query object, and it is similar creating executable query object in JPQL. Okay, so in line 7, what we are doing, we are getting the result. We are getting the result from the query. Okay, and here you don't need to typecast it, and you don't need to worry about the last cast exception at runtime. So now let's focus on JPA static meta model generator. Let's discuss it. So why we need JPA static meta model generator? Let's understand it. So at the time of writing criteria queries, you need to reference entity classes and their attributes. For example, here post_.id is referring to the ID attribute of the post entity. So in place of post_.id, you can use simply ID in double quotes, but it has some drawbacks, and to overcome those drawbacks, JPA meta model was introduced. Okay, so let's understand what are those drawbacks. So let's suppose you have hard-coded ID, okay, and after some time the column name is changed due to some reason. Okay, then you have to refactor each query where you have used this attribute, and it is a tedious work to do. Okay, so what the meta model does, it generate meta model classes for each entity based on some rules. So you do not need to worry about those rules. Okay, it generate those meta model classes automatically, and we will understand the this concept by implementing an example. Okay, so let's go to the Eclipse.
So guys, now we will see how we will configure meta model generator in Eclipse IDE. Okay, so now let's go to the Eclipse IDE. So here I have already created the project. Okay, and here it is a pom.xml. Let's have a look to this. So we have a dependency for Hibernate core, for MySQL connector. Okay, and this is a dependency for JPA static meta model generator. You need to put this dependency in your pom.xml, and along with this dependency you need to add one more configuration in your Maven compiler plugin. This is the part you need to add it. Okay, so after doing this we will see how we will configure the source folder for the meta model classes. Okay, so for doing this we will follow these steps. Okay, right click on your project, go to properties, and in properties go to Java compiler, then select annotation processing. Okay, and enable this part, enable project specific setting. Okay, check this
And check these checkboxes also if they are not checked. Okay, so this is the source directory. You have to specify the path or the folder name here, and this folder name or path should be inside the target folder. Okay, so target slash generated sources slash annotation. Okay, it can be anything, it's all up to you, but this target slash always remains same. So apply it and apply and close. So you can see here now it generated the source folder for your meta
model classes. Okay, so let's check one thing also. You need to check that this is in your class path or not. So for it, go to your Java build path. Yeah, so it is already in the class path. Okay, so apply and close. So after it, let me show you first entities for which we will generate the meta model classes automatically. You do not need to do anything. You do not need to write any code for that. Okay, so here we have comment entity and post entity. Okay, this is the post entity, contains these fields, and this is the comment entity. Okay, and between post and comment there is a relationship one to many. Okay, so meta model classes also take care about the relationships, so they generate the files according the relationship also. So you need to run a few commands on the pom.xml. Okay, so let's run maven install. Okay, yeah, it is now done. So let's check, let me refresh it. Okay, now so here it generated the meta model classes corresponding to the entities, and it always generates these classes in the same package in that the entities are present. Okay, so let's look these classes. You can see it contains static fields for accessing the attributes, or you can say the access the variables of the entity. Okay, let's have a look to the post underscore class. Okay, so here you can see it contains all the fields that are present in the entities. Okay, same fields. Okay, you can access these attributes with the help of these variables, and these variables are static, so you can access them by the name of this entity anywhere in the project. Okay, so till now we have learned how we will configure, how we have learned that how we will configure meta model generator in Eclipse IDE and how we will generate these meta model classes. So now we will look how we will use them, how we will use these classes, and how these classes will help us in removing errors that occurs in a runtime in JPQL and HQL. Okay, so I have already created an example here. Let's discuss it. Okay, so what we are creating here, we are just creating this query with the help of JPA criteria API. Okay, so in this line we are getting criteria builder object, and with the help of criteria builder object we are creating criteria query instance, and you can see we have passed here our entity type. You can pass any type here. Okay, so we want to select all the columns of the entity, so we have passed the entity as an argument here, and it will be the return type of our query result. Okay, so whatever we passed here, the same will be used as a resultant type. Okay, so now let's move to the next line. In next line we are creating root object for our entity, post entity, with the help of this from method. Okay, and we will perform select operation on this root object. We have other methods also, we are not going to discuss those methods here. We have multi select for selecting more than one item. you can select more than one root object with the help of multi-select method. Okay, so now let's move to the next line. Okay, let me show you those methods in this criteria query interface. Okay, here is the multi-select. Also, this is the select method that we have used in our example. Okay, so come to the example. Now in this line we are creating a condition. Okay, as you can see in JPQL query, here is a condition p.id is greater than 1. So for achieving that part of query, we need to write this code. Okay, in JPA criteria queries, we need to create a expression object for any condition you want to create. Okay, and criteria builder object helps in creating conditions. Let me show you the other methods that we have. For example, we have like method. Okay, greater than, like this, less than. Okay, also we have LT, same as greater than. Okay, so all these methods you already have in criteria builder interface, you only need to use them. So let's go to the example. So the thing here is we have used post underscore dot id. We did not we didn't hard code here. Okay, we have not hard coded id here. You can do this, but it has drawback, you already knows. Okay, so this condition we will pass in where method. Okay, and then we will pass this criteria query object into the criteria create query method. It is same like we did in JPQL and HQL for creating executable query objects. Okay, and on that object we are performing a get result operation. Okay, so it will return you a list of post entities, so you do not need to typecast here, it already knows the type from this, so you do not need to perform any type of typecasting here. So and there is no chance of last cast exception at runtime. Okay, let's run it and we will see what result we will get. So here okay, so here we got one record that is having id greater than 1. Okay, so it's working fine. Now we will look the use of meta model generator. Okay, so we have configured it and we are using the variables, or you can say the attributes that are present in the entity by the help of meta model generator. We are not hard coding them. So we will also see another use of it, like in your project lifecycle somebody changed the variable name in the entity. Okay, so let's take an example for that, like in future if this id, if somebody changed the id to post id. Okay, so remove these errors also. Okay, now we are done. Now what we have did, we
changed the ID. That was previously ID, now we have renamed it and we made it post ID. So here we are still accessing ID because in meta model generator class here it is still as ID. So we need to generate these classes again, and for that what we have to perform some steps. Okay, so what we have already performed these steps previously. So guys, run maven clean on this pom.xml so that the previously generated meta model classes can be deleted. Okay, so let me refresh it. So here, so now the classes are now gone. Let me clean it. Okay, so you can see now the post underscore class is not present. Okay, so now we have to run maven installed so that new meta model classes can be generated. We have changed the name here, sorry, we have changed the ID, now it is post ID. Okay, so let me run maven install guys here. Okay, so here you are going to see an error. Okay, here build failure. So maven would not allow you to build the project because you are having an error in this class. Here you have used ID, but now the name is now the ID is changed. Now somebody changed it to post ID, so it will give you an error at the time of building the project. Okay, so let me show you this error again. Okay, so clearly it is specifying that you are using the ID variable that is not present inside this post underscore class. Okay, cannot find symbol ID. So this is what the meta model generator do. Okay, so guys, let me change it. Here post ID. Okay, so now it's done. Let's again run maven install. Okay, so now the project is built successfully. So this is what the meta model generator do. Okay, so in this video we have learned about the meta model generator, about the JPA new criteria query API. Okay, so in the next video we will learn about the multiple methods present in this criteria query interface for selecting the entity records. Okay, it contains multiple records for suppose for selecting multiple values. You don't want all the columns of the entity, you want the selected columns of the entity. Okay, so we will learn those things in the next video. Here also we can use our custom types. We do not need to always use here the entity type. Okay, so thank you guys.